Hey everybody, welcome back to Dead Car Rescue. This is part 2 of a 3-part video on this Comet. If you haven't seen part 1, go back and look at it, watch it, and you'll see all the work we've done to this thing since we brought it in here as a roller. I bought this car as a roller, took an engine out of another car I had, sold the other car, kept the engine transmission. Found out that's not a 302 engine like I thought, until some of my subscribers said, Steve, you don't have a 302. You got a 260. They could tell by the 3-inch bore, or 3.5-inch bore. Said a Ford 302 has a 4-inch bore. Well, I know now, but look what we found. After making a cross member, I found this cross member outside in an old car I had. Does it go to this one? No. Will it fit this one? I don't know. We're going to find out. I do know the mounts are different. Mine has a clamshell mount, but if I have to buy a new mount for the transmission, I'm going to buy it and we're going to put it on. But we got one, we're going to clean it up. We'll cut this dog leg off of it. That's for emergency brake. I don't even know why you need an emergency brake. You don't in Arkansas, you just cut the cable, take a torch or whatever and cut it off. We don't have no stinking emergency brakes in Arkansas. I've never had one. I never cared if there were. It's too much trouble to hook up. But let's do it to it, get it done, and we'll start working on some of this other stuff too. Okay everybody, you can see the cross member. Let's see if we can get it changed. Nope. It does not fit. The bolt holes don't match up. Ta-da! I did it. I made this work. This didn't fit. The holes wouldn't match, but I made them match. You can see I welded some washers on here for them to make the hole perfectly round. So it's done. That's what it's supposed to look like. I'm lucky I found this. 2 bolts sticking down, that's exactly what I needed. Look here what I did to this. I just plugged it off with that's a freeze plug seal. So I sealed that hole in the side of the transmission housing that goes to the speedometer cable. Until I find a speedometer cable that'll work. Now look at my headers. They'll come out just fine once I move that rod, but they'll come out just fine. Now I can put my collectors on them and run them out here. So there it is. I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Ain't that what they say? Okay, I've got a 1-wire Chevy alternator on this thing. I'm going to do away with the voltage regulator because all those wiring going to the voltage regulator is messed up. And I'm just going to put a 1-wire on it. Now I made this bolt out of 2 bolts. And I made it just a little bit long. I'm off on my figures, kind of like the Chinese people are off on their bolt holes, but it happens here in Arkansas too. I'm going to cut it, make it a little bit shorter. I don't mind having a washer here, but I don't want a washer and a washer and a washer and a washer to try to take up this space. So I'm going to cut it back here again, take about that much out of it, weld it back together. But I'm going to make a spacer for this. And then I'll get back with you on that. You'll see both of them. Now my spacer is going to be a piece of pipe I cut out of a piece of pipe I had. I'm going to lay it right on there, and I'm going to weld it to that washer. I'm going to center it up, weld it, put one on the top. Let's see, where's the top? There it is. Put one on the top and weld it too. And I'll have a spacer 3.5 inches. The heck was that? There it is. Can you see that? That's my spacer. Good. It's good enough in Arkansas. That's the way it's going to go, just like that. I'm making me a bracket to go from back here to this bolt right here on the water pump. So I'm going to make that bracket come up a little bit and come over so it won't touch right there as it's coming across. All I got to do is clean it up, and I'll have me an alternator bracket. It's not that bad. It works, is all I got to say. It works. It's just been it's been a heck of a build, okay? Everything's went wrong. From the headers, motorsports, transmission sport, alternator. I still got to make the bracket for the accelerator pedal. I did put this fan blade on there. I had a 4-fan blade on there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should keep it a little cooler, and it's a little taller. It misses the radiator hose and everything, so. And my belt, just a little bit off. I might have to take a washer out and back that alternator back toward the motor just a little bit more. But it's close, 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 close. Hey everybody, we're back in the shop working on the 72 Comet. It's about to start raining pretty hard. I hope it holds off until we get this video done. I can hear it start raining now. But anyway, we're going to try to get this thing to start. I haven't tried it, but I'm going to right now. You're going to see the first start since it changed the heads and the intake and the carburetor. I hope the carburetor does okay. We'll see. But got a hot wire for the distributor. Plug that up in a minute. Got to get some gas to it. I did put the distributor back in the exact same spot. All the time I had working on the engine, you know, putting the heads on and stuff. I never did turn it over, and I had it marked. We'll see how far off I am. These doggone Fords, you just crank them up and they run. I like that. Let's try it again. I don't know if that carburetor floats are letting gas in. Let me find out. Yep, got gas in that one. It's got gas in that one. So I got a vacuum line off or something. I think I'm going to change the carburetor. Just got to find one to fit it. It might be good. I have to go back here and look at my stash, see what I can come up with. I'm going to try this little Holly on here. I don't know how it's going to do. Don't know if it's any good. I did have it wrapped up for some reason, so Don't know why. Let's try it with that carburetor. Could be. We'll see. Gas is choking me up. I gotta get out of here. Guys, I ain't gonna use putting a radiator cap on that pipe. Alright. I pray for no water leaks around the water pump or around the intake. I'm back. The reason I'm putting water in it and not antifreeze is just in case I have a leak, I can fix it and won't waste any antifreeze. I can hear it gurgling. It says I want more. More water. Okay, now we got water in it. We can let it run a little bit longer. I don't want Y'all don't want to know what I see. Water was leaking from the back of the head. Not a lot, just a drip, drip, drip. Houston, we've got a problem. I liked it better when it didn't have no water in it. Okay, there's where it was leaking from. Why was that? Why is that even there? I thought, well, the gasket will cover it up. I guess not. All right, there's the difference. That's smooth and flat. Okay, that's going to plug that water hole off. Okay? That intake that I got from my brother. It's going to plug this water hole off. It's going to plug that one off. Let's see if it's going to plug the front two off. I don't know how I can do that. No. The front two are open. The back two are closed off on that intake. Okay, guys, I found out something. Guys and gals. Found out something. This is plugged back here. It's not plugged up here. Okay? The intake gaskets are made with an opening back here. So if you change the head around, you could put a head on either side. If they plugged one side of the head, just like they did this intake, at one end, you couldn't turn them around. You couldn't swap the heads around. So this is the front, this is the back, and they made an extra hole on the head for water to come through, just in case you change. You can interchange the heads, okay? If that makes any sense to you, makes sense to me. We're putting the wind intake on it. I got her cleaned up a little bit, and we're gonna stick that on there and give her another try. Okay, everyone, got another problem. Got the intake on. Went to put the distributor back in. I can't get the distributor shaft to slide up in there. I can get almost all the way down, and it just stops. I look down in there, and the distributor shaft is not in the center. There's a hole there, and it drops down in. It's over to the side. So it's kind of like it's bumping right here on the edge. I can pull it to the middle, but it just falls this way. Pull it to the middle, and it falls this way or this way. Now I called one of my Ford buddies and talked to him a little bit. He said the shaft that goes to the oil pump, which one end sticks in here, the other end goes into the oil pump. He said this shaft has come up out of there and it's just laying there. And that's why it will not go down in that. It's kind of like made like a stop sign. But I said, how do I get that back in there? He said, you got to pull the oil pan. I'm not doing that. I should have left the doggone distributor in there. That distributor will never come out again, I guarantee you. If I ever get it back down in there. Even Ford guys that I've talked to said I worked on them for like 5 hours, stabbing it, trying to get it right, and finally got it. Well, I'm going to try to do the same thing. So, wish me luck. Okay, folks, I got it. Now, I'll tell you what I had to do. I had to tear that distributor, that points distributor, I had to take it all apart. And once I took it apart, I thought, I'm not going to put it back together just to stick it back down in there. What I done is I used the shaft out of it and stuck it down in there and made sure the oil pump was turning. So it hadn't come out of the oil pump. But this little pointer right here ought to be pointing right here. So all I'm going to do is walk the wires around. It's on top dead center right now. But top dead center should be right pointing this way. I can make it work. You'll never know it. I'm not taking it. I'm not taking that sucker back out of there. It's there. I have it back together now. I put a electronic ignition distributor in it. It had a red wire and a black wire. I put the black wire on the coil side, on the negative side, and the hot wire on the positive side. I'm sure that's the way it goes. Instead of this being number 1, this is number 1. Because I dropped that distributor in there and this rotor button was pointing to this tower. So I got room to slide it both ways. Firing orders 15426378 instead of 18436572 on a Chevrolet. I'm going to learn that 15426378. Instead of number 1 spark plug being here on the driver's side front cylinder, it's over here. Passenger side front cylinder. Those Ford people. I got this Edelbrock carburetor. I don't know. It's been on my shelf back here gathering bugs and dust. Figured I might just try it on this engine because the other ones are not working. Especially this one. It idled, but you go to give it the gas and it didn't want to work. So I've got everything buttoned up. I'm just ready to start it now. So don't have any water in it. I'm going to do the water thing later. See what happens. I've been working on this thing in the afternoon. Like I started about 7 o'clock, maybe 8 o'clock tonight to work on this thing. So the air conditioner kind of cooled this shop off a little bit. It did take me a power nap this afternoon, so I would be able to come out here and tinker with this thing. I think I'm going to have to work in the early mornings like I did this morning. Got up for 4 o'clock in the morning, come out here and worked on it. About 10 o'clock, it was way too hot in this shop, so I just took a break until 8 o'clock this afternoon. That's how old man does it. All right, we're gonna fire it up, I think. Cross your fingers. We'll see how it runs, if it runs. Cross your fingers. Okay, we've got another carburetor on it. I don't know if it's any good. Same as the other one. Let's find out. This one's doing the same thing as the other one. I have a vacuum leak. I think I need a rest. Come back tomorrow and look at it with a different point of view. Folks, this car has fought me every step of the way. Carburetors, you know, I'm going to go through the whole thing. No, I'm not. You know what I've done to it. You know what I've been through. You know what I've done to it. I just got to keep on punching. Might have to buy a new carburetor. I don't know. Okay, everybody, welcome back. It's the next day. Had some time to think about this carburetor issue. And so I got online on Marketplace and I found me a brand new China carburetor that's never been installed. 125 bucks, couldn't pass that up. So we're gonna stick it on here, find out if it's the carburetor all this time, the 3 different carburetors or whatever I've tried, 4, that's 4, or if I got a vacuum leak somewhere. If this new carburetor doesn't idle and has a vacuum leak, you have to put your hand over the choke or whatever, we'll know it's a vacuum leak. We'll see. Carburetors have been giving me fits since I was this high. Anyway, got this loose. Yeah, it's got a gasket. Vacuum leak. I can tell already. doing just like the other carburetors. Sounds like the fire is shutting off to the distributor once you start it. Huh. But what we got is a car that still will not idle. It's like it's got a vacuum leak. Even though I put a brand new China carburetor on it, it's still doing the same thing. Starts, as soon as it starts, it dies. You idle it up real high and it'll run. So we're trying to figure out what is going on. I want to check for a vacuum leak, but I don't have one of those leak detectors. But I bought me one. Cigar. Now I tried this with the carburetor on it, and smoke was coming out of the carburetor, the top of the carburetor, so I took it off and plugged it here. So I want to see if it's coming out around the intake. Fire up my old trusty smoke detector. We'll see what happens. Here we go. I don't see any smoke at all coming around the edges of the intake. I can't tell. This is carburetor number 6. This was on the original engine that was in the Fairlane. It was running fine, idling fine. Okay, we bought an adapter to put an adapter from a 4-barrel intake to make a two-barrel carburetor fit. Let's see if it works. Same thing. Okay, the exact same problem with this carburetor as it was with a brand new Chinese 4-barrel carburetor. Starts, dies, starts, dies. You idle it up real high and it idles at a high RPM. It's like you kill it, like you turn the switch off to the ignition is what it's like. I wish I could get you guys to help me. I know you can't. Got my brother Flash coming over. 2 brains are better than 1. We'll figure it out. Well, you're probably saying, Steve, what did you do to make it run? I called my brother Flash. He walked in, looked at it. I showed him what it was doing. It would die every time he'd start it. But you idle it up, it'd run. He said, change the coil. So, I changed the coil. I was skeptic. I didn't think it was going to work. Hit that starter and it fired up and idled just perfect like it's supposed to. 2 brains are better than 1. My brother Flash has been around. You know what I mean? He's a couple years older than me, but he was working on cars a couple years before I was. I kind of learned everything I learned from my brothers and my dad. But it was the coil, ladies and gentlemen. I can't explain it. Stranger things have happened. But it's done. That part is done. Now I'll go on to something else that's going to give me a problem. We'll figure it out as we go. That's all I got to say. All right, it's time to work on the accelerator pedal. Got to put a bracket right here to hold this little tab and hook it up to the carburetor. And by the way, I did change the carburetor back to the little old Chinese Edelbrock. I wanted to get that 4-barrel on there and take that 2-barrel off, so. I did start it up though, it still runs good. It's not the carburetor, Steve. That's my accelerator pedal bracket. I made that.
It's a getting up in Arkansas.
Okay, everybody, I've got it all buttoned up the best I can. Tell you what I'm going to do here in a minute. I'm going to start it up for you and let you hear it run. Everything's hooked up except the alternator, and I'll show you once. Okay, I want to show you why the alternator is not hooked up. This is the hot wire from the battery running down to the stem on the alternator. Okay? Why would that cause this car to die? If it'd be idling and running fine until you touch that hot wire to this alternator. Boom, kills it. Is something in the alternator messed up that's causing it to just take the fire from the distributor? I don't know. I still got to work on that. But I've got another alternator I'm going to try and see if it does the same thing. Like I told you, this thing has fought me tooth and nail all the way. Now I'm going to change the valve covers on it. I don't want to, but I need a PCV valve in it. I cannot find one of these plastic stems to go in this valve cover that I can plug a PCV valve in. If I could, I'd leave these on here. I've looked at all the parts stores. Nobody has one. So if I find a pair of regular valve covers, I'm going to paint them up real good and put them on here. And that way I'll have one of these. Wonder if that would work. Okay, well, maybe I'll do that. But anyway, I've got my accelerator pedal hooked up. All the coil, distributor, all that stuff's working fine. I got to run a gas line. It's got one on it, but it's old. From the fuel cell to the line right here, wherever it is under there. And I'm going to run that line to the fuel pump. And I'll have gas. The master cylinder, I was going to change it, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to just clean it up real good inside and try some brake fluid in it and give it a shot. What have I got to lose? Nothing. I've got my 4-barrel carburetor on. I've got the wire looms made for my wires. Radiator's on, solenoid's on, starting off the key switch, headlights burn, stuff like that. That's pretty much all I'm going to do to it under the hood and all this. Hopefully the brakes will work. I'll get some wheels put on this thing. I'm going to put those wheels on there. You haven't seen those. Yeah, maybe you have. But anyway, I'm going to put those 4 wheels on this car. And then the next video we're going to clean it up on the inside. As you can see, it looks like crap in there. I'm going to take that seat out, take this carpet out, back seat, take it out, clean it up real good inside. Find out if I got any holes in the floor. That floor shifter, I'm not too sure if that's going to work for me. We might have to make an old-fashioned floor shift that runs on a rod, kind of like the old Mustangs. Something like that. But this is a budget build, so I'm not going to spend a lot of money on buying a new shifter, stuff like that. New seats. No, I've got some black bucket seats that go right in here with a little work. And maybe I'll get some carpet, maybe I won't, I don't know. I'm going to get it running and let somebody else finish it. That's what I'm going to do. So once we get this thing back together, the hood back on, we're going to pull it outside, drive it down the road, see how it does. And I'll add that on my next video. And then we'll bring it back and in the shop, clean it up, make it look pretty again. And that'll be part 3 of the video. Windshield, I'm going to leave that alone unless I find one somewhere. It's busted pretty good. But it's going to be a budget build. I figure I'm going to ask something like $4,000 for this car. I think it'll be worth $4,000 when I get through with it. Get those other wheels and tires on it. And get some gauges inside of the thing on the little gauge pod that you buy. You know, it's got oil pressure, water temperature, and alternator, or the amp gauge. And I got to get some mufflers on it. I got my collectors on the headers. Put me some glass pack mufflers. I've got 2 of them out there in the shop, or my storage shop. And we're going to stick those on there, put some turn downs on it, and leave it like that. I'm not paying $550 for exhaust pipes run out to the back, because that's what the muffler shop charges. But I'm not going to do that to this car, or I won't be able to sell it. I have too much money in it. But whoever the new owner will be of this car, it could be you guys, because it's going to be, I mean, if you want this car, you need to let me know. And we'll make some arrangements. That's pretty much going to do it for this video. I don't know what else to say. It's been a booger, but I've really enjoyed working on it. Going to get it outside and bring a Chevrolet in here and work on the Chevrolet a little bit. Kind of calm my nerves. So this is Steve for Dead Car Rescue. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye, y'all.